Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul over here, and today we have an Aussie quest. This comes from Aussie Deb, who says, "Hey, John Farnham Musical in 2026 is coming." Okay, spoiler alert. But this is news, and I bet it's very good news. Let's take a look.
Well, John Farnham's life is going to be told on stage as producers work on a Broadway-style musical about the legend's comeback story.
Broadway.
Really cool. Here's our entertainment editor, Peter Ford. Hey, Pete, what do we know so far?
Well, we knew this was happening. We knew it was brewing away now for a couple of years. In fact, you've had Michael Cassell sitting there telling you about it. He's the brains behind it, and Gaynor Wheatley is representing John and the family's interests, and of course Glenn's interests as well. So the big change now is they were going to do this musical using John's hits, but the show wasn't actually going to be about John. It was going to be about the Rum Rebellion of 1808. So
Rum Rebellion?
Governor Bligh singing You're the Voice. I mean, it sounds dry for a musical. So they've said, scrap that idea. Now we're going to do John's life in the early...
Thank you so much for the coffee request. This comes from Ward. Okay.
early 80s, and that's the really interesting time when he was down on his luck, and he's talked about the fact that he couldn't afford to take the family to McDonald's, and then that turnaround when Glenn entered his life and took over his career, and going into the Little River Band, then the release of Whispering Jack. Now next year that's 40 years, and
Thank you,
the plan
Ward.
is to open this musical next year in Melbourne to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Whispering Jack. Now look there,
Wow.
that's the comeback moment. This was in 1980, and this was the Royal Command performance held at the Sydney Opera House, and the King, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were there, and all the big names of the time did it. Helen Reddy, Olivia
King and the
Newton-John,
Queen.
Peter Allen, and Glenn was trying
wait.
to get John on. They didn't want him, and finally it was Bert who actually said, you know what, I'd really like him to be on it. So they agreed. Everyone else got to do 3 or 4 songs. They said, John, you can do 1 song. And they basically were saying, you're a has-been, no one's interested.
Wow.
He got up and did Help, and everyone said, wow, why have we forgotten about John Farnham? And that was the turnaround. So this will all take
Wow, I
place
didn't
in
know.
the-
I didn't exactly know that part. That was the turnaround. People still didn't give him the credit he deserved, and then he did Help and in front of the Queen, and then everybody started remembering him, remembering Jack. No, anyways, remembering Whispering Jack. You know what I'm saying? Never mind. Anyways, I was gonna say something which I just literally forgot now. Oh yeah, I was gonna say John has so many things going on for him. Like there's a podcast, there's his audiobook, and there's the documentaries. Also, we reacted to Finding the Voice. It's on Buy Me a Coffee or Discord, not Discord, Patreon. And now a musical, which is gonna be so cool.
This will all take place in the 80s, 1980 to 1986. That's
I wonder who's gonna play John. Who's gonna play John?
the very specific time frame for the musical. So I think it sounds fantastic, and we'll keep you up to date with it as more things are confirmed.
We've got a grab here, I think, Pete.
Yeah, so this is back in 1982, where John's talking with the late Don Lane, and the late Glenn Wheatley is there as well, talking about entering the Little River Band.
Because it's no longer really, it's not John Farnham and Little River Band, is it? It's Little River Band now. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it should be, I think. I think the only reason that it had any sort of impact was the mere fact that I was an entity in my own right here. The rest of the world don't know who I am. And it's not so important over there. The thing that I do have to do elsewhere in the world is to fill Glenn Shorrock's boots, and they're pretty big boots.
Well, they certainly are. And we've done great musicals with The Seekers, Johnny O'Keefe, Peter Allen, of course, the boy from Oz. So I'm
Seekers
sure the John
musical, you
Farnham
guys
one
have
is going
that?
to be a big hit as well.
Cannot wait. I'm glad that whole Rum Rebellion idea got shelved.
That's sort of Men in Tights.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to see that,
Pirates.
but I'm first in line for this. A controversial comic might be headed down under, Pete.
Yeah, so just a few hours ago, Rosie O'Donnell got onto her
Okay, so that's other news from Australia. Wait, Rosie O'Donnell? Wait, is she Australian? No? What? She teases. What? Okay, never mind. um, this is a John Farnham video. I'm interested in what's going on in Australia as well. But this is going to be really good because John Farnham has a lot of great songs. I can't wait to see who is going to do the John Farnham part, and it's going to be very interesting. Rosie O'Donnell is going to Australia. Okay. Um, so this is going to be interesting how they put this together, and let me know who you guys think should play John Farnham. Who should be the voice of John Farnham in this musical? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have anyone in mind? Let me know. But this is really, really cool. That is really nice because the idea that John Farnham is the voice and he has so many great songs, and you know they're telling his story through a musical. It'll be so cool. And here on the channel, we have been doing the history of John Farnham also. There have been, I think, 34 parts. And yeah, telling the story through, through a musical with his music. It's so cool. Oh, they already know? It's a guy called Michael Painter? Painter. Oh, no, I know Michael Painter. He would be one of the first choices. Did I say 43? Wait, I said 34. 43 parts, guys. It's the opposite. I just changed the numbers. 43 parts. We're almost at 50. That's crazy. That is amazing, though. And guys, just go watch it. The link is over here, to the playlist. Or if you want to request a video, go over here. And I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.